Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BLEAV50, that's BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Gentlemen, I hope you guys had a nice Christmas, a nice little relaxing weekend with sports and family and all that good stuff.
Definitely.
All the good stuff.
Likewise, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was nice. And, you know, obviously our guys came away with a win on Christmas Day. Didn't like the way it started out. Seeing that Wojnarowski report early in the morning, like before the game. Had a bunch of friends like sending me the tweet of it. I'm like, no, I don't want to see that right before the game starts. Bad juju.
Yeah, I think it was put out there for a reason. I can give you my take.
All right. Now we're gonna get into that. We're gonna do a lot. There's a lot of topics this week for our guys, the Sixers, and obviously we're gonna have a show this week too. That's that much information this week with the Sixers, but we got the big juicy gossip topics today for the show. So first one, we're gonna get started with the first topic. So since our last show, Sixers finished off their homestand with a huge comeback win over the Clippers, amazing game, and then another comeback win on the road versus the Knicks on Christmas Day. So a lot of stuff. So after the Clippers game, Embiid said it was the biggest win of the year for them, but he said a bigger win would be winning on Christmas Day on national TV in front of everybody. So my question to you guys is, what was the bigger win? The huge comeback win against one of the best teams in the West, or facing some adversity on the road where we've been really bad this year?
Yeah, I say that the Knicks, one, we haven't had much success on the road, even though I think the Clippers, comeback was big. But I just think national TV, you get a chance for, a lot more eyes are on you. You get to establish yourself. And I think that not only did they get the victory in comeback form, but they also showed that, hey, we're just as good as any of the rest of these teams in the East. So I think that win right there, you lose that game, then all of a sudden some of the dollar and a lot of things keep seeking back in. But I think that win and the way it was played as far as your best players dominating, fluid team. Knicks have been playing well, even though they lost a few games right before. But it's still a playoff team. And I think you're still on the road and it's still a big game on national television with tons of eyes on you.
Asia?
Yeah, I was deciding which one. I was like, you can make a case for both. Really, I was like, oh man, you can do both. I totally agree with what you said about the Knicks on that day too. I chose Clippers, good, which is great. I just think there were so many storylines for the Clippers. You had the Doc versus Lou aspect of it. Doc coached that team. A lot of those guys on it. That was his team. So there was definitely some extra skin in that game. It wasn't just a typical, good team versus good team game. Clippers are going to be a powerhouse in the playoffs. I actually think that I think I told you this too, Marcus. They remind me of the Sixers to a degree too. Very like playoff built teams. Some fragile guys on it who need a little more, white glove treatment throughout the season. Some rest days here and there to make sure they're just good for the playoffs, right? Like once the Clippers just get in, if they're healthy, good luck. Like because Kawhi, when he's locked and loaded, and George playing 30 minutes every night in the playoffs is going to be tough. Very top deep, very top heavy, yet also have depth. Both teams do. Doc and Lou both love blowing big leads. They have it in them, obviously. So it was cool and ironic that Doc came back against his former team. So it's like maybe it's deeper than just Doc. Maybe it's anyone that Doc ever hired before also has it. It's like that movie Thinner where you have to like curse someone else and then they have it. You get rid of it. I mean, he gave it away to Lou, the sidelines, before the game started. Yeah, I just think it was a great deficit, huge deficit, and very impressive to come back against that kind of team, a team that you wouldn't expect to lose it like that. I just thought it was really impressive. It was extremely impressive.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about the Clippers, obviously Kawhi, Sixers, we obviously have history with Kawhi, and he was automatic that game. I think like going into that fourth quarter, I think he only missed like 2 or 3 shots going into that fourth quarter. I mean, he was playing amazing, and also a lot of his shots, like those the shots he was getting over Embiid too, it brought back some old memories, which is unfortunate. But hey, we got the win. And obviously, and I think that was a big test too, playing against the Clippers with all their guys, having PG and Kawhi in life. And I think that was like what made that win so impressive. And I know the Knicks game, Christmas Day, it's a national, national televised game. So you could take away either one of those games as a bigger victory. So yeah.
It's nice to get wins when you're not even the healthiest team. Yeah. And that's what we've been doing a lot of lately too with teams. Like because you beat a team and you're like, oh, but he was out, but they didn't have this guy. I mean, teams are looking at us and fans are looking at us going, did they just beat us? They didn't have Maxey. They don't even have their other young phenom, so it's cool.
Yeah. And I think I heard Skip Bayless say today that maybe the Sixers are better without Maxey, and they're going to have to deal with that. And we'll get into that Friday. Obviously, his first game back on Friday. But he was saying that they may have to deal with that when Maxey comes back, kind of readjusting to his game instead of, what we're doing with Melton. So we'll talk about that on Friday when his first game comes. Okay, so next topic, we kind of mentioned Harden. So Sixers have dominated since he's come back, going 8-1 and have both top 5 ranked offense and defense in that same 9-game stretch. But as we mentioned before, on Christmas Day, Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Harden is seriously considering a return to the Houston Rockets in free agency this July, if he decides against a new deal with the Sixers. So I got to ask you guys, is this meaningful or is this much ado about nothing at all?
I think it's a negotiating ploy from someone. That's all I think it is. Because it's irrelevant. It's like, why, Rose? Like, why right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not making sense to even talk about this. It's December. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about what somebody's going to do. Like, it just doesn't make sense that he's going to leave a team that they say they want to win a championship to a team that's rebuilding. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So to me, it's from someone. I'm not saying it came from James or James people or his agent. Me personally, I just think one way or another, it's a negotiating ploy. I'm not taking a discount anymore with the Sixers. Mm-hmm. Or I can go back to finish my career in Houston. So I'm not taking, so if I'm going to do that, I'm going to go live where I want to live, play where I want to play if I'm going to take a discount. So in my opinion, I don't know where it comes from, but if I had to take give my opinion or guess, I would say that's all it is, because it's really no reason to bring it up right now.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm not taking it.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, when I was watching it, when I heard the story, I didn't even get the sense that like someone just told him that. I have a feeling he's just known that for a while, and they were like, you know what? Remember we talked about a month ago? Go ahead and drop that story now. So you can do it now. Because it's like, hey, Merry Christmas, Woj. Oh, yeah, we're going to go back to Houston if we don't get the deal we want. Oh, okay. Well, let me go ahead and type that. Like, what? It's after an 8-1 stretch, or at that point it was 7-1. But it's just like, it's odd timing. Like Christmas Day.
He's playing arguably the best he's played.
Yes. That's what makes me think like, okay, strike while the iron's hot. You're not struggling right now. Because if that story came out when we were struggling,
yes,
that would have been bad, right? It would have been like, geez, well, yeah, you might have to go because it doesn't look like it's working out anyway. So it's like now it comes out when they're doing awesome. It's like, oh, by the way, just in case you think that winning solves everything, including my bank account, it doesn't. I still want a lot of money, or I'll go back home. It actually might have even surfaced after they played Houston. Like, hey, you had a fun time over there, huh? Maybe you can go back there. It's like, yeah, I mean, I would if things don't work out here, which I think that's why I think it's much ado about nothing, because well, it's not even a report. He would go back to his hometown that he spent 15 years at if it doesn't work out here. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, would they even want him back? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, what Houston do?
Yeah, I looked on the comments. I actually wanted to see what Houston fans were saying, and most of them were like, "No, like, why would we do that now? We have two ball dominant guards that run our offense with Green and Porter. So where would Harden go back to being a 6-man? Gordon can't even get consistent minutes on that team. So
I didn't get it,
but the thing is, a lot of the offseason when they were talking about, oh, is he going to go back to Philly before he signed the deal? They were going over teams, and they really didn't have a lot of teams that were realistic for him. So maybe this is the most realistic option.
That's why I think if from the standpoint of him taking a shave or a discount, before I take a shave discount, I'll just do this.
Yes. I'll go back home.
My opinion, yes. I'll just
score 30 a night and win.
Yes.
But that's not the same Houston. They're actually trying to win now. They're trying to build.
I mean, they're just so young. It's just not going to – it just doesn't make sense.
No.
Yeah, so, James is a top player, so you just never know.
I also think it
could work.
It means nothing until we see how the season finishes and how they unfold. Or if they don't fold at all, if they win at all, or if they lose and James doesn't shoot his shots in the third and fourth quarter, then we can start asking those kind of questions. But for now, it's just I think it's just nothing. Posturing for money.
It wasn't the whole idea of this being like a 2 to 3 year kind of like plan. That's why Tucker signed for a 3-year deal with us. That was kind of, remember, people were pissed off that we signed Tucker for 3 years. It was like, oh, maybe it's a part of a long term, a 2 to 3 year plan with Harden in mind. So, I mean, doesn't that kind of.
But his contract was almost structured like a 1-year deal. It was a get out after 1 year.
Right.
So we seems like we have like a 2 to 3 year plan, but he's not locked in for those 3 years yet.
Yeah.
So it's like a 1, and then we'll figure it out after this. I also think he might just keep doing it to allow us to maybe have flexibility, but I can't see him doing another discount again.
Not to that extent.
No.
Especially if he keeps this up, this 9-game stretch that we're going through right now with him. If he keeps that up, then we might have to ante up. And I
think I read recently it'd be the first time ever you'd have a league leader in assists and points on the same team, or in 40-something years. What would that have been?
40 years. What? Magic at Kareem, or no? Is that
yeah, maybe. That's a good guess, actually. That's exactly probably who it is.
40 years from now, that would be what, 82?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that would probably make sense. Okay. You looking it up?
Yeah, man, it's kind of a tough one to.
The last team to have the guy who averaged the most assists per game and most points per game, or just total?
On the same team.
Damn,
that's gonna be tough to find.
Yeah. Well, sidebar that, we'll bring it up on Friday.
We'll revisit it. Yeah.
All right.
That's a very good guess, though.
Yeah, it makes the most sense. All right. So next topic. Obviously, after the game on Sunday, and then after last night, seeing the Nets kind of dominate the Cavs pretty much all throughout the game, we're seeing that there's kind of there's 2 tiers in the Eastern Conference right now, and there's 3 games separating the 1 seed to the 5 seed. And I've seen everyone kind of talking about who are the teams to beat in the East, and you got the Celtics and the Bucks. Everyone's kind of putting them on a pedestal, and then you have the Nets and Cavs as the next tier. But watching some of the hot take shows, you had JJ Redick and Kendrick Perkins talking about it. Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp kind of talking about it. And they didn't really know where to put the Sixers. Are the Sixers more on the Celtics and Bucks tier, or are they more on that Nets and Cavs tier? So I want to ask you guys, where do you guys see the Sixers as far as tiers in the Eastern Conference right now?
Well, man, if I have to make a tier, I think the reason why you say Boston and Milwaukee is because they went to the finals. Milwaukee won a championship. So they've done what the other 3 teams haven't done. So until, other teams can kind of accomplish that and kind of be like, hey, we're doing the same thing you did. We can get to the finals and win. We can get to the finals and be second place. So until you get to that point, it's kind of hard to say, yeah, we're just like that team. Especially from the Sixers standpoint, we haven't got past the second round.
Yeah.
So, Cavs, obviously haven't since LeBron was there, and the Nets haven't either. So those teams got to at least get to the conference finals and get to a finals, I think, where you can say, okay, they're like that. But, so that's where I think the difference is. And then they are the top two teams in the East again.
Yeah.
Going into, the end of December. So do I think they're capable of beating those teams? Yes, I do. But I think if you're just going by, proven success, there is some separation from that standpoint.
Yeah. All five teams are so close to being in the same tier. I guess, yeah, what would separate them would be the past success. For the Bucks, though, I gotta say, I think personally, I think Celtics are tier one. I think it takes a step down after that. The Melton injury, man, it really scares me for them. That knee is just, he keeps missing games because of that knee, because the swelling keeps coming back, and if he can't do the grind in playoffs, like, that's a lot to overcome.
Yeah, man, I get what you're saying, but he wasn't there last year, and they lost in Game 7 of the conference final.
Yeah, it's true.
And they won it the year before. You know what I'm saying? So
everyone got better, though.
I'm just saying, but they lost. I think Milwaukee got better. They lost in conference, conference finals in Game 7. So even without him, they did better than those other three teams, and they won it the year before. So to say that they're like those other teams, I don't know how you can say that. Yeah,
I just think that Cavs
they still
so much better.
They still accomplished what Boston didn't accomplish. Winning it, and Boston went to the finals and got beat in 5 games. I believe Milwaukee could have did that.
Yeah, probably
without Melton. I think they could have won a game.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just think Celtics got Robert Williams back. They don't have the Gallinari trade, but they got Brogdon in that deal. I think they've improved. I just think we talked about this a while ago, but that we were also hinging on Middleton coming back. What did the Bucks really do? They got Ingles. I mean, Giannis is just good enough to make you a top 3 seed. I think no matter what in the East, I just think he is.
He's good. He's good enough to get you to the finals. He's good enough to get you to the conference finals. He's good enough to win the conference finals. The other teams can't say that. Now, KD's done it. Not here. He's done it in the West. So I believe he can do it. I believe Kyrie's talented enough to do it, especially with KD. I believe they had the talent to do it.
But it's potential.
They just haven't done it.
They had the potential to do
it. Their team. But I believe that I believe that. So if I'm saying, would it surprise me if the Nets make it? No, it would not.
No, not at all.
Surprise me at all. I mean, but to say that they're like the Celtics and the Celtics just swept them last year. So, but then on the other hand, to say that the Bucks aren't like the Celtics, like, why not?
Yeah, I guess it's just
they're closer to the Celtics than anybody else in the East.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I like the Celtics. I like them, but they're like a game apart. It's not like the Celtics is like soaring past teams.
No, it's true. As is, it's very close. I just think if I'm projecting, I think Middleton becomes. I mean, which is probably why they're being as cautious as possible, because they're number 2 right now and he's hardly played. So it's like get right. Save the swelling for the playoffs. Like don't play. Don't risk anything right now. Which
until they say he's out for the season. My outlook is that he'll gradually get better. It's no different than Klay Thompson playing with Golden State, and he was playing with injuries and trying to recover.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was very helpful. Just say, even everybody saying he wasn't the same, but take him away and see what happens. You see what
and
I'm
they
saying?
might make a deal. I heard they were interested in. Weren't there one team was interested in Crowder? I think they were, right? That makes a lot of sense. You add Crowder there, and
I mean, so I can see that still happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even more so with Middleton's knee continuing to swell up. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets took out the Celtics. I think they actually match up really well now. I think Simmons can neutralize one of Brown and Tatum a little bit like he did last night with Mitchell. And then you have Durant playing some of the best defensive ball of his career. I think he can maybe guard the other one, and no one questions the Nets' scoring ability. So I think the top 5 are extremely talented. I would put the Sixers above the Cavs because I think when push comes to shove, you have one of the most dominant players in the NBA on our team. And what, you're going to look for Mitchell to do his, 8 for 27 shooting in the playoffs to try to keep you in games. Well, we've seen how that works with the best defensive team in the Jazz. It didn't. So I just think the Cavs have a little more of an upward climb to figure out who's going to be that guy to just take over games in the playoffs.
I think I like the Cavs. I do. I think that they're a team that can beat you in one game. Not sure if they can win 4. It's the top 4, but we'll see. They have some talented players that can win a series, and with their talent, they defend, they play hard, so they got the intangibles.
Yeah, they're well balanced too. They're a well balanced team.
They got the tangibles, but we'll see.
And with us, it's like we have our own question marks. We're playing amazing right now, but we almost have to re-gel when Maxey comes back. So our potential's through the roof, but at the same time, do we revert back to the first 10 games of the season? I don't know. So it's like we got to redo some things when he comes back and figure it out.
Is it we or he? Maybe that's a question for Friday.
I thought you were making fun of me for saying the we team.
No, I'm saying is it we or he?
I guess
the team, or is it him as in Max?
Yeah. I guess we'll have to answer that. I guess that'll be a topic on Friday. I think, let me get some time to get some artillery for that answer. But I think it's awesome. The top 5, I think the East is extremely competitive, and it's gonna be really fun to watch it all unfold.
Yeah,
I hope they all get healthy. I hope they all get healthy and stay healthy. Really.
Well, I was really kind of similar on the lines of the Middleton thing. It's that we're playing so well right now that we were allowed to kind of let Maxey kind of rest like a few more weeks, because we probably would have rushed him back even sooner if that that kind of mediocrity that we had in the beginning of the season kind of continued a little bit. We probably would have rushed him back sooner, but we've had the luxury the last few weeks of letting him rest a little bit more and letting him recover more. So that's a luxury that we've had, and also Milwaukee's had, with kind of letting their star players rest a little bit longer for the injuries.
Yep.
Okay, so and we'll talk more about Maxey on Friday when he makes his return. So okay, so topic 4, we got predictions. So tonight the Sixers will be going to Washington. Teja and I, we're going to go to that game, but we're not going anymore because the nosebleed tickets are starting at like $90 right now, because I think everybody and their mother's going to this game tonight.
Dude,
unreal.
What the hell?
Unreal.
We got a better deal in the playoff game 2 years ago.
I know.
Holiday, man.
And we were like 6 seats. We were like 6 rows.
It's a holiday.
Playoff game.
Holiday. No school. Nothing. Something to do. Like
go to Chuck E. Cheese. Go to Discovery Zone.
Philly's close. Like that's it. That's always those games were like right around the holiday. Were like always like crowded games. And I think you'll probably see a lot of Philly fans too.
Yeah,
you see a lot of Philly fans that that's not really going to games up there and get a chance to go and see them there. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it's crazy. There's a better deal for like the lower rows than it was for the really far ones, because the families are taking those really far.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's no school, so
they're not sitting
family.
It's just like it's an outing to them. It's just going to an outing. It's like, oh, come on.
And it's the polar opposite of when I went to the game back on Halloween when we traveled to Washington on Halloween. Families weren't going to that game, so I got good tickets for like $60 that night. So it's a polar opposite to this one. But anyway, so far we played them 4 times this year. We only played them twice so far. We've split. We beat them in Washington, and they beat us in Philadelphia. We beat them by 7 at Washington, and they beat us by 10 at Philly. So tonight we are a 4-point favorite at Washington. So who do you guys have in this one tonight? Do you guys have us covering the spread?
I have us covering. We'll win it, and plus territory. We'll win, pull away in the end. I think they'll play us close. We'll end up making some free throws and some shots down the end. They'll pull some starters, and we'll cover.
Starting +4 scares me, though. I mean, -4. It's like, that's tough, man. I thought we'd be favored by more than that, but
the last time we played them, I believe in Washington, I think we were -3. Because I remember we were also questioned by that spread as well, and we ended up winning that game by 7. So
I thought we won in Washington, lost in Philly. That's right. That's right.
But we didn't have Embiid that night though. So that's
see, that is a suspect spread though. Mm-hmm. That makes you think to take Washington tonight. It makes you think to take Philly. It's like, oh, low spread with a team that's won a gazillion in a row. And
yeah,
I'm gonna go Wizards +5. I think it'll be a close game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Porzingis is back. Porzingis has dominated both games he's played against us. He's dominated us. So, one got to watch in that match.
He over rebounds with Porzingis because he can rebound against us because everyone else can because we don't rebound. I mean, it's unbelievable. What did Embiid get? 8 last game?
What on Sunday?
He didn't get his double-double, right? He got like 8 in that game.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Mitchell Robinson was having his way down there.
Mitchell Robinson had like 30 rebounds that game. It's insane.
One thing if I wish Joel could improve on, is more consistent dominating rebounding, especially when he dominates with points.
Yeah. He's turning into Brooke Lopez on us. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to say that. But but yeah, I will take Porzingis over points and rebounds for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we pull away with a win, and hopefully we have another. We continue our streak with Maxey coming on Friday with the
bounce back for Tobias too.
That'd be good.
He didn't even get double figures, so
that'd be good.
Get one last game in Tobias before Maxey comes back, and you're back to take.
Yeah, those attempts will be going down. But
he knows it too. He knows like, shoot, I'm going to shoot like 20 times tonight, man. I got to get mine in before Maxey comes back.
But all right, guys. Well, we hope you guys enjoy the Sixers and Wizards game tonight, and hopefully we continue the streak when Maxey returns on Friday. Fellas, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
All right,
see you guys on Friday.
You guys enjoy.
All right.